I'm Yulia. I live in Moscow. I decided to share my story hoping that it might help those who live in a place where there is very little awareness, like I do. I've had OCD since I was 10. Perfectionism has always been one of my biggest issues. All of a sudden I started seeing imperfection everywhere, and it hurt so bad. In the beginning, most of my rituals were mental, and on the surface I was doing just fine. So no one could imagine what I was going through, until I started washing my hands repeatedly at the age of 15. It was especially hard in winter. I remember sitting in class with my hands bleeding, so I had to cover the cuts with plasters. I have no idea how I made it through music school, because I could barely play the piano with those hands. After I transitioned to university, my OCD got even worse. I developed a bunch of contamination-related rituals. I started rewriting my notes. My perfectionism blossomed. It took me several years to figure out what was going on. One day I found an article on OCD, which made me feel pretty hopeless though. It said that OCD is incurable, not a single word about treatment. Luckily, several days later I discovered the Peace of Mind Foundation. I finally found hope. Hearing Elizabeth and Dr. Michael Janicki talk about OCD and treatment helped me a lot. I started using OCD Challenge and learned the principles of ERP. Although I didn't use the website systematically, the results were surprising. At first I didn't notice my own progress and felt like I was stuck. But several years later I surprised a couple specialists with how far I've gone. I set myself a goal to go to the annual OCD conference, which kind of motivated me to do ERP, but seemed unachievable at that time. My OCD had kept me from traveling on my own for many years, but I ultimately decided to take the risk. It took me a lot of time and effort to save for the trip and to get my visa application approved. In 2017, I finally made it to the conference. For the first time in 14 years, I felt like I wasn't alone in this. I got to attend support groups and to meet the specialists I looked up to. I remember crying on the last day because it was over, and I left determined to come back in a year. Later, I got to talk to a CBT specialist here in Moscow, who was interested to hear about the conference. I started to contribute to their OCD website. This past summer I received my master's in psychology. Looking back, I still find it hard to believe that all these amazing things really happened to me. Now I don't see this disorder as a weakness. I often remember that story I heard from one of my teachers. She shared with us what somebody said after listening to a presentation on OCD. A violin can easily go out of tune, but it's not a log. On my hard days, I try to remind myself that it's okay to feel vulnerable. I'm not ashamed of my story anymore. I'm not ashamed of my OCD anymore. Now I really believe that help is available for everyone. Sometimes you just have to search a little bit harder. So, if you have OCD and you don't know where to go, you can start with these websites. It might also be helpful to join an online support group and to connect with other OCD sufferers. You are not alone wherever you are. Start small. Every little step moves you closer to recovery. And I want to say thank you to the IOCDF to the Peace of Mind Foundation, and to all the amazing people who have supported me throughout the years.